Hola, mi bitches. Tis I, Chlois, aka Mini Bitch on Insta. So today we're using Cherry Bomb from iGel Beauty, Vampire Diaries from Sparkle & Co. is a new color, and At Midnight by iGel Beauty. So, you guys can probably hear my son in the background. He's arguing over eating breakfast. So, I'm just trying to figure out what fingers I want for what. So I'm going to do I'm going to do Vampire Diaries on my thumb, ring, and pinky finger, but I'm going to use it more as a topper. Just because I've seen pictures of it and it seems like it's a sheer, more base color. Like the base of it is more sheer, and I don't want any of the polka dots from the first layer being a shadow underneath the second layer, if that makes sense. Because I just really want it to be just black. I don't really want any like gray shadow cast in this mani. So I'm just using it as a topper. So I put Cherry Bomb down first because they pretty much match really good. The bases do. My little thing is stained black. I have cleaned it. It's just stained. So it's not going to contaminate this. It's literally just stuck there. So I'm just pouring that out in there so that I can lay my fingers flat in it. And of course, I'm using my Mani Boss liquids. So I am doing this. And I will say that doing longer nails is kind of irritating and time consuming because do you see how I'm having to like flip the brush around, really work the product down the nail, and I'm just like, ugh, my short nails were so easy and so fast. But anywho, I digress. Here we are. So let me clean up my cuticles. I'm going to do the scrubby brush of things here in a minute, and I'm going to be adding in some of the glitters when I see that. Yeah, see, I have like a naked spot at the tip of my nail, and I am just going to add some dip base there, and I am going to just pick up those two glitters that happen to be on my napkin and just set those right down, and that's all. Nothing else. Just leave those there to dry. I'm going to do the exact same thing on my ring and pinky finger, although I did not need or didn't add any extra glitters. I just laid flat in, and that was that. And I will apologize for the length of this video because I know it's on the longer side. But I did a lot during this mani, and I didn't want to leave any of it out because I don't know. I know some of you like to see all the stuff and some of you don't. So I apologize for those of you that don't like to see all the stuff. Totally skip around the video. Don't blame you. Do what you gotta do. But for those of you who do like to see all the stuff, here's all the stuff. And I really almost didn't upload this video because of how dark the nail art was, and me doing it is extremely hard to see, so I apologize ahead of time for that too. But I really did feel like even if not the nail art, that this situation right here that I am doing was pretty cool. So let's get into this. I am going to be doing a halo ombre situation. So I'm going to be dipping into Cherry Bomb first and clean around my cuticles, all the stuff. And then I am going to be dipping my Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush in there, and I'm going to be scrubbing around the perimeter of my nail to deepen it. And I don't want to say that this is exactly a scrub ombre because I am going to be doing something different for the second layer, so you'll see. So I'm just scrubbing and pressing that black into the perimeter of my nail, just staining the red pretty much with this, and just working it in until I feel like we've got a good base situation going on. And I don't really know what my idea for this mani was exactly, except for that I wanted to use Vampire Diaries really bad. And I knew I wanted to use red and black since it is a red and black. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, let's do an ombre. And I've never done a halo ombre, so let's do that. So here we are. Yeah, I just roll with the punches inside my head. So for the second layer, I am going to be because I want to add a little bit more like definition to the black. I'm not going to be dipping the whole nail in red. I am going to be sprinkling the red in the middle and then dipping the nail in black so that I can really get pigment on this nail. I didn't want it too pigmented. That's why during the first layer, I just rubbed it in. This layer, I am dipping it in because, you know, full dips of black is going to be crazy. So while I wanted it dark, I didn't want it pitch black, and I feel like I was able to get that. So I am going in with one more layer, and for this layer I'm doing the red scrub method again, just because there was one part of my nail that was lacking some color on the black, and I did not want to dip and get it too dark. So I was like, okay, we'll do another layer of red and then stamp and scrub this black in around the perimeter and just make our blend a little bit better for this halo situation. And I do really like the way that this came out. And for my middle finger is going to be a little different for the idea that I had after starting this. So for my middle finger, I'm going to do pretty much the exact same look, but a different way, because I don't want as much red in this middle finger. I am sprinkling the red on first, just right in the middle, and then dipping my entire nail into the black and picking up some of that extra black to just tap in there and scrub around where maybe some of the red took that I didn't want it to just deepen that up. And I'm going to do another layer just like this. I'm taking the brush that had the red on it and just stamping that around to mesh those two colors together. This finger is only going to have 2 layers because I felt like I got the look that I was going for in those 2 layers. And so that is that. I'm going to do the exact same thing and just get that fluffy brush with the red, try and concentrate it right in the center of my nail. And then I am going to just dump the extra off. And I seen a little bald spot that I didn't want black, so added some more, dumped it, and then dipped right into the black. I personally was not crazy worried about contaminating my black because that is some black, but you know, you could pour over if you wanted to. Doesn't have to be dip, or get another brush and sprinkle it on top as you wish. So that is that, and I was super happy with the way that these came out. I did not want my ring and middle finger to be the same density of hollowness or of ombreness, so yeah. And you'll see that I dipped in clear for my capsulation. And I am going, now the nail art part is where things get like tricky, long, intense. So, yeah. But again, oh, and I'm running out of activator. I will be replacing that. I have more. I'm just one of those people that likes to like try and get every last drop out of the bottle before I replace it. So, you know. And I did my middle and index finger last because they have the black on them, and I didn't want the black to stain the brush and then stain the other nails. So that's why I did those last. So now let's get on with our nail art. So my idea for this, spider web situation. And the reason why I wanted it on this nail is because I wanted it to, and I'm using black because I wanted it to fade into the mani itself. So you'll like mostly be able to see it on the red part, and then the spider web is just going to fade into the black with the ombre. And unless you're just like looking very closely or you catch it in the right light, you wouldn't know that the spider web goes into the darkness of the mani. And that's what I was trying to go for. And I do feel like it worked because for a lot of this, you can't see what I'm doing. So I apologize. Hopefully you can see better than I think you can see, because I feel like my lighting and the darkness of the mani and the colors, it just wasn't working together. So I am sorry. And if you are still watching this, thank you. So I'm pretty much just drawing those lines like a spider web across my nail, the entirety of my nail. And so I started with one straight line down the middle and just made some X's across that line. And now I am just going in and making the little curves of the web, or whatever they're called, little C's, half oval circles, notches, whatever you want to call them. I am making those in the web. And this was kind of tricky to get the like thin / thickness that I wanted on them without making it look horrible. And here in a second you will see right here that this is just way too big of a gap, that I could not get this like the curvature of this right. So yeah, that's too big of a gap. What I am going to do is I am going to get my angled brush from Maniology. Love this brush. Dip it in some alcohol, wipe it off so it's not soaking wet. Take that line off on the corner there. I also took the one off on the other side. I don't know why. It was fine. And I am going to add another line right there. So that way when I go to do another straight line. So that way when I go to do the C's and the curves, see, it's just easier to connect everything. So while in the beginning I was trying to have a symmetrical spider web, I don't really think I don't think spider cares. My spider didn't care that his web wasn't symmetrical. So I tried to just let that go. Now I'm going in with the little ones on the inside, and these are the only 2 layers of these little guys that I'm going to be making for this web. And then we will move on to the otherness. This was just a little bit harder. Also, I have these whole long nail situation going on, and I'm trying to do this with my left hand, and holy Moses, it was a process, let me tell you. So I am flash carrying in between every once in a while on these. If I feel like, oh, okay, I finally got that right, I don't want to mess it up, so let me just flash carry it really quick before I go on. So yeah. This I'm gonna try something in my next video, you guys, to make nail art a little bit easier. So we'll try that out. I don't want to give too much away. We'll try that out in my next video, so stay tuned for that. Because if you are right-handed or left-handed and you're trying to do nail art on your non-dominant or on your dominant hand with your non-dominant hand, this might be an easy way to get around that. So stay tuned for that. Activating and top coating. Now this top coat situation, again, I have liquids. I have new liquids. I actually have replacement brushes from Maniology too. Or Maniology, from Mani Boss too. But I'm stubborn and don't want to get it out because to me this is still perfectly good and capable of doing the job. However, I did slightly contaminate my brush at some point. And do you see how it's like separating as I'm trying to apply the top coat? You'll see it on my index finger. So I'm not going to bore y'all with the struggle that I was on during this top coat situation for the second layer. So I'll show you my index finger and then we're moving on. Yeah, it was a struggle. So I'm over here just trying to get it as even as possible, which I did do. I got it even. It was just a struggle. You see, I seen some bumps there. I was like, no. Because my brush was separating, because it's hard in the middle. And yeah, this is why you make sure you clean your brushes and all the good stuff so you don't get any contamination. And if you have new liquids or a new brush set to replace the old brushes in your liquids, just use them because I need to replace mine. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. So now I'm starting on my little spider. So this is topical nail art situation. We've already done our top coat. So this is going to be on top of that. Duh. Like, you literally see me do the process. I don't know why I'm trying to mansplain this to you. Okay. So I'm just trying to create this little oval of a body and a head. And I'm going to create a line from his little booty to my cuticle. Like he's just hanging there, you know, being cool. And then we are going to try and do legs. And I'm starting my legs in between his head and his body. And I'm going out a little bit at an angle. And then I'm cutting that like literally in half and doing a 90-degree angle from there inwards towards the butt. So I went at an angle outwards of the body, and then I stopped, and then I cut it going the other way back towards the spider to get the like leg situation right. And so I'm going to have 2 legs on each side going towards the back, and then I'm going to make 2 legs on each side going towards the front. So for the front, it's literally going to be the exact same thing. So I'm just trying to squeeze some extra legs in there. You will see. This was a little harder than I thought it was going to be because my legs are not even. And it was just funny. And I really was like, oh, I can it's fine. I'll fix it and whatever. No, I didn't. I was like, no, because I didn't want to try and erase it completely and then accidentally erase the whole spider, which has already been good. I was just like, no, we'll just deal with it. So see, for these front legs, I'm going outwards towards the front and then cutting those legs back in towards his head. And the reason that I'm not flash curing this in between is because I'm going to put glitter on him. And if I flash cure, then the glitter won't stick to him in those spots that I flash cured. So I'm leaving him completely wet and just trying to get all of this art and detail done before going in right now with my Kiara Sky LBD sprinkle on glitter. So little black dress. And now I'm going to cure that for a whole minute. And here we go. So this was extremely hard to see. And so you're going to have to look at the pictures to see better. And hopefully it was hard to picture too. Like it was just an overall dark Mani. Lighting was hard to get right. So hopefully these pictures are better and all the stuff. So here they are. So this was my Mani, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye, bitches!